Good morning. Actually, is it still morning? Yes, it's 10:58. Good morning and welcome back to At Home with Rhonda. Today, I'm going to be talking about and showing you, we're going to try to extract some seeds from my basil plants. For all of those people out there, if you've ever grown basil, basil unfortunately does not survive through the winter. So each year, if you love fresh basil and you want to grow it in your herb garden or just around your house, you would have to go to Lowe's or you'd have to go to a nursery and somehow buy a plant. But I like to extract the seeds and try to grow them myself. So if you've ever grown basil before, after the plant starts to thrive at some point, you'll see these little flowers that start to grow on there, and that's where all the seeds are. I don't know if you can see this up close. Let's see. There's these little black seeds that are on the inside, and so that's what we're going to do. Is we just basically, you want to let them get completely dry. Some of these that I have harvested are completely dry. Some of them still have a little green, but it'll be a lot easier to harvest these if the whole flower stem is dry. And so basically all you have to do, see if you can see me here. I'll have to put this in my lap. Okay, or maybe right here. Let's see. Maybe just a little bit more. Is you just want to take this and you want to strip all of these little flowers off of here. And what's really cool is once you have all of these little flowers on here, you can put them in water, and all of the shucks, or the what is it called? All of the greenery or the brown stuff will float, and your seeds will stay at the bottom, which is kind of cool. See, if it has any green on it whatsoever, it's just not going to want to come out. So that's my recommendation. If you want to really harvest it and you want it to be as easy as possible, you want all of the flower stems to be completely dried. And so let me pinch this off of here. It just makes it a lot easier. And there's actually tools that you can buy that strips it like this, but I'm like, how difficult is this? We're just going to do it like this. And those that are green, I'm just going to keep them on. And we'll do those later. But that's all you do. You just basically, you want to hold it, support it. And you just, I think I was going the wrong way there. See how easy that was? And so I'm just going to go with each one. And we're just going to strip it down like that. I'll get this out of the way. And like I said, once I get done with this, then all you would have to do is put this in a bowl and fill it with water, and all of this dried stuff will float to the top and your seeds will stay at the bottom. So, and then what you'd have to do is lay them out on a paper towel or a towel, and you would want to dry the seeds. You need them to be completely dry before you save them and store them, for long storage for next year. And of course, if you want to be able to grow some basil next year, I would say sometime in January, maybe February, you'll want to go ahead and plant your seeds, and you'll need to keep them indoors, because it's going to be cold during that time. And you'll need like a plant light. I have a place in my laundry room where I set up a little mini greenhouse type of thing, and I have my lights in there, and I can grow tomato plants, my squash plants, anything that I'm going to want to plant in May. I need to go ahead and plant those in January and February, so that probably February would be good enough. So that by spring, whenever the risk of frost is over, I can go ahead and have a good sized plant to plant in the ground. And it saves you so much money. If you have to go to Lowe's and buy their all of their plants, you're gonna pay so much money for that. So if you have time and you have your equipment, you can save yourself a lot of time. And the cool thing is, it's fun. I enjoy it. So yes, it might be work, and I have to keep it watered and stuff like that once I plant my seeds and keep track of it. But here, let me show you what I've done here. So see all of that dried stuff we don't want. What we want is we want the seeds. Let me see if I can show you. See the little black seeds down there? That's what we're looking for. So I think that's all for today. So yeah, if you have grown your own, if you have grown basil in the past, you just have to harvest these little flowers once they get nice and dry, and then from that point on, you can have basil all the time. And actually, you could grow it indoors if you wanted to keep it. You could have basil, or any herb for that matter. You could have those and enjoy them all year round. You just would have to have like some kind of little area in your house that you could grow those things. So anyway, hope you've enjoyed this today. I love basil. There's so much that you can do with it. I love to make pesto. I actually make pesto, and I put it all in like a little ice container, ice cube container. And that way I can freeze it and I can store them. And then when I need it, I just pop out one of the little ice cube things and I'm good to go. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed this. I'm going to continue working on this and store them for the winter. And so that way next spring I can grow some more basil. Have a good one. Take care. Bye. Hey y'all, so I am back and we are going to do the second segment of working at harvesting our basil seeds so that we can have fresh basil next year and we can plant our plants. And so in my last segment I was showing you how that I took the little flower stems and I stripped them off of the stem, and this is what we're left with. So we have all of this husk and seeds that are all in those little pouches. And so basically all that you have to do is once you have harvested all of the little the flowers from the stem into the bowl, is you just take some time. It's kind of like mindless, what do you call it? It's a task that is completely mindless. So if you want to just sit down and rest and just enjoy the smell of this basil, but you just basically want to just kind of pinch and just kind of crush all of those husks. And what's happening is as you're doing that, all of the little seeds that are in those pouches are going to fall out. So we're just going to do that real quick. And like I said, I would take probably a good 10-15 minutes because some of those seeds are really kind of embedded in those little flower pouches, and you just want to make sure that you get all of those out of there. So I have already worked on this quite a bit, and so most of them are completely already done. I can see all of the seeds that have been separated now. And I wanted to say too, in my last segment, I had mentioned that one of the ways that you can separate the husk from the seeds is to put them in a bowl of water, and all of the seeds will fall to the bottom and the husk will stay at the top. And so when that happens, you can just skim off all of the husk and try to separate as much as you can, and then you will have to dry the seeds on a paper towel or on a towel. You'll have to let them dry completely before you can store them for the winter. However, there is an easier way I wanted to show you, and actually tried it out earlier. I have a very old Tupperware colander. I'm sure that there are other ones that are not Tupperware that would work. I will say, hold on just a minute, let me get the other one. Another one that I tried to use did not work. This one here. If you have one of these, the holes, this is good for like sifting flour. The holes are too small, so the seeds actually would not fall through that. But if you have a colander that's like this is like the perfect size. I'm going to get a close-up. You don't want the holes to be too big because then, you know, of course, the husk and the seeds will fall out. But for whatever reason, I could be very blessed today and just very lucky that basically this would work. So I'm actually going to use this, and instead of having to put all of my husk and seeds in water, now what I'm going to do, let me turn it around so you can see. Okay, here we go. So I've got another, actually this is a very old Tupperware bowl. I've got a set of 6 of these, but this is what I'm going to use. So anyway, I'm just going to put that bowl here, and then I'm going to put this on top like this, okay? And then I'm going to pour all of this on here, and all that you would want to do, let's see here, so you can see me, is again, you just kind of want to stir this around. You just kind of want to stir it around so all of those seeds are going to fall through the holes. And as you're doing that, just continue to kind of crush the husk in here so that all of those seeds are going to fall through the holes. And then what you're left with, are you ready for this? Look at that. Ah, there is all of your basil seeds. Can you believe that there's that much? And I'm sure there's more. What I would do too is when you do a first batch like this, maybe put the husk back in the other bowl and spend a few minutes just making sure that you've gotten all of the husk crushed so that those seeds can fall out. I've done that a few times and I still continue to get seeds. And this is only a portion. I've got, oh my gosh. So, I mean, basically you can, you know, get a little envelope or something and you can put you some seeds in a pouch for next year, but you'll have plenty to share. So if you've got friends or family, that is one of the major things that I love about gardening. And I can't say that enough, is gardening is definitely a craft and a skill that helps you to bless other people. And I love that. When you have an abundance, this year I had an abundance of eggplant, an abundance of habaneros. I grew those this year. What else did I get a whole lot of? Just a bunch of good stuff. And when you have an abundance like that, you can share. You can bless somebody else with it. So that's what I'm doing. So now I'm going to put these husks back in the bowl. And I'm going to spend some time just making sure that I got all of the seeds. And when I get ready to store this, I'm actually going to put these in some little, I'm going to make a little pouch out of a vacuum seal bag, and I'm going to store them that way. I'm going to vacuum seal them that way. They won't just last for a couple of years, but potentially these seeds could last me for 20 years because that way, you know, I've gotten all of the moisture, all of the air out of there, and it's going to last me for a very long time. So I will have basil for days, and I don't have to buy it from a store. So anyway, I'm going to do that, and then I'll come back and finish up and show you how I store mine with the vacuum sealer. So we'll see in just a few minutes. Hey y'all, I am back, and we are getting ready to take my basil seeds, and we're going to put them in a pouch, and so that I can put them with my what do you call it, my stock. You know, I've got a whole area in my pantry with baskets of different seeds, and I really love this process. So in order to store your seeds for the vacuum sealer, you have to have equipment. It's important. So the first thing I have here is a food saver. You can find these at Walmart. You can find these at Sam's Club. I'm sure you've seen them. You can find them on Amazon. I've had this one for quite some time. I think the next one that I get, I'm going to get maybe one that's a little bigger and more for commercial use because I use mine so much. It doesn't take long to wear them out. Anyway, but this is a food saver. And usually if you buy a food saver, it'll come with a couple of bags, rolls of bags. And so what I normally do is I'll I'll just take a section and I'm gonna cut it, and I'll show you. I'm gonna make these little pockets, these little pouches that I'm gonna put my seeds in. And so now when you have these little bags, of course they're open at both ends. So the first thing that I have to do is seal. So that's what we're going to do. Very simple. You close it and you just have to hit seal. And so what that's going to do is you've got a little heat strip in there that's going to melt, somewhat melt this plastic, and it will give you a complete seal so that when you put your food or your seeds or whatever it is you're putting in there, it's going to keep it airtight. All right, so that's done. If you've ever used a vacuum sealer, you're familiar with that. Now the next thing, so I don't want to waste this much, right? So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to make some little pouches, and I'm going to fold this over. I'll show you. And I'm just going to take my fingernail and I'm just going to put a line here so that when I get ready to seal it, I kind of have a guideline there, and then I'm going to do the other side the same way. Just going to kind of fingernail press that down like that so that I've kind of got a guide. And then when I get ready to seal, I'm going to try to seal it right on either side of that. See if you can see what I'm doing here. You don't want to seal on the seam. You want it, that's where you want to cut. So whenever I seal, I'm going to seal on the left and the right side of the seam, and then once it's sealed, I will be able to cut on that line there. And I'll show you what I'm doing. Just a minute. Let's see if we can get that done. And like I was saying earlier in the other segment, is this is only going to be a portion of the seeds. So I'm definitely going to see if I can find somebody who wants some basil seeds. And that's done. All right, and now I'm going to go to the other side like that and seal that side. And this doesn't take very long at all. Let's see here. It's almost done. Okay. All right, so let me show you what I've done. I don't know if you can see this, but my original where I pressed with my fingernail is that seam right there. Now I have sealed on either side of that so that I can take my scissors like this and I can cut on the seam that I made that little fingernail impression. So now I've got this little bag that I will... Hey y'all, I am back and we are going to store these in my vacuum seal bag. So I have made these little pouches, little tiny pouch. I think this is going to be big enough for that. And then what I'm going to do is use a funnel, because if I try to pour this into this bag, they're going to spill all over the place. So I'm just going to put my funnel inside the bag. And then can you see me here? Okay, I'm just going to pour that in there. Give it a little tappy tap. And it doesn't look like a whole lot in there, but oh my gosh, this is enough seeds for multiple years. So get that all in there. Okay, and then I'm going to bring this down a little bit. This is my vacuum sealer. And we're just going to seal that right up. I'm going to put this down here like that. Make sure we're all good to go. Okay, we're going to lock it tight. Hopefully you can see this. Okay, I've got it all locked, and now I'm going to vacuum seal it. It's going to be a little loud, so I'm sorry about that. Hold on. Now it's going to seal. Almost done. Okay. Now the only thing that's left to do is I'm going to get a permanent marker and I'm going to write on this Basil Seed 2025 because it was from my garden from 2025. I don't have to put the month. And even though you can say to yourself, oh, you'll look at that and you'll know it's basil seed. Well, no, you won't. You'll forget next year. So make sure that anytime that you are storing something, especially when you have lots of other things, make sure you label it just so you know what's in the pouch, okay, or in the little baggie or whatever, however you're storing yours. But that's it, folks. So now I've got 2 of these little pouches. It's going to be, I'll keep them next year. I'll open this up and I'll plant some more, and we'll actually get some more seed next year. So probably next year I'll just give a lot away. So I hope you have enjoyed this. I hope that you'll take some time, that you'll have some motivation to be able to not just go to the store and get everything that you need, but learn how to produce some things yourself. It's a lot cheaper, it's fun, it's intriguing, and you'll be so glad you did. Hope you enjoyed this. You have a good day, and we'll talk to you later.